Philip Clark here at Wizard World LA. I'm here with Stormcrow Hayes, who is a writer in comics and on screen. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's the show treating you?
Show's been good.
Yeah?
It's been good. It's a little different. I was just at WonderCon a few weeks ago. It's a very different kind of show, but it's been fun.
Yeah. Did you do the New York show at all?
I didn't. I didn't have a chance to do that.
It's kind of weird. I think after coming off of those two shows, this one is a little less, I don't know, enthusiastic, I guess.
And today's Sunday, it's definitely been very, very slow Sunday. But yesterday was good. I had a lot of fun here.
Yeah. Now, so you're the writer of Afterlife for Tokyo Pop. Can you give us just a little idea of what that's about?
Sure. Basically, the short of it is that the afterlife, this is where everybody goes when you die, no matter what you believed in life. And it's not hell, but it feels like it.
Nice. And how long have you been writing?
I've been writing my whole life. I started writing when I was a kid, and just been writing like short stories and screenplays. You know, when I moved to LA, whatever I feel like writing, I've been writing constantly.
Is this something you studied in school as well, or?
I did. I don't feel that you have to study in school to be a good writer, but it is something I pursued and had a lot of fun. You know, and it gave me a chance to develop a lot of projects. Like I wrote, a play that was in a playwright festival, and definitely gave me a chance to explore and do a lot of different things, get involved in a lot of different things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who would you say your influences are in this creative circle?
Yeah, there's so many. So many. I mean, I grew up, like reading like Ray Bradbury and like Philip Jose Farmer and just so many sort of great science fiction and fantasy writers. Lord of the Rings, all that good stuff. In comics, I'm definitely a fan of who isn't a fan of Alan Moore? And Alan Moore, I'm one of those, just like so many others. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing definitely just changed my perception of comics and good horror and everything else. And yeah, definitely a lot of big fan of that series. What else? I'm a fan of Cronenberg. In fact, even though there's a difference, when I first sat down to write Afterlife, after we had sold it to Tokyo Pop, and just wanted to get into a mood, I sat down and watched like Cronenberg films, that I hadn't seen in a long time, like Existence and Naked Lunch, because there's just such a nice creepy feel, and there's such a weird sort of surreal thing, and I wanted to kind of capture that mood in the writing. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So is writing what you do full time now? Do you have a day gig, or?
I am a full-time writer, which I'm very happy to say. I have a produced film that's supposed to come out at some ambiguous time in the future. Working on another screenplay right now that we've got a director attached, producer attached. We're just about to go out to talent and see if we can get some name actors to put it together. So I'm very, very proud of that. Very happy about that. Afterlife is a 3-volume series. I'm finishing up working on Volume 2 and writing a lot of Volume 3 at the same time. But I've also got another project that I don't have enough. I don't have a title on it yet, but I have an artist and we've started working on it, and it's definitely, I think it's going to be very exciting.
Nice. But you say being a full-time writer, is that a fairly recent thing for you?
For the past couple of years.
Okay.
And even before that, like I've lived in Los Angeles for 10 years.
Right.
And I was very lucky that I managed to land like a writing job within a year. But it's nothing. It's such an unreliable. There's no job security.
Right.
And so I've always had to sort of supplement the income at different times.
So what were you doing to pay the bills?
I did a bunch of different things. Actually, I grew up. I love dogs. I had 3 big dogs growing up. So I did like pet sitting, which in Los Angeles is a city where everybody is from somewhere else. So people are always going home and go at the holidays and stuff. So I move into their house for like 2 weeks over the holidays or over vacations, and it was just a great way to I could write from anywhere. So just supplement my income and just not have to really do anything. Nice. Just walk a dog or whatever, which I enjoy doing anyway. So I did that. I was a personal assistant to some people. I worked for Sundance briefly. It was a personal assistant to like the VP over there. So just and odd jobs, all kinds of crazy odd jobs, and
What would you give to aspiring writers? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who wanted to break into the industry, whether it be in comics or screenwriting?
Yeah, any kind of writing, I'll tell you, it's hard. You really have to want it. You're not going to get rich doing it. So it's a purely, self-gratifying kind of thing in that, you have to really love what you do, and you have to be okay with the fact that, you may not, for every Stephen King, there's 1,000 other people who write books who don't get that kind of acclaim, don't make that kind of money, and people who write novels who maybe do well but still have to do other jobs. I'm lucky that, right now at this point in my life, I am doing it full time, but that could change at any moment.
Yeah.
There's no job security, whatever. So just love what you do, and it'll be worth it.
Now, in terms of comics, I mean, why do you do comics? It's not easy.
No, it's not. When I first started getting into comics, the analogy I made was that breaking into comics was like trying to break into the film business, but without the money. And it's very true. It's just as hard, just as competitive. There's a million filmmakers out there trying to make films. There's also a million artists and writers trying to make comic books.
Right.
And so it's incredibly competitive. So, which again, you have to love what you do to tell good stories. Because if you're just trying to make a hack book or whatever, just because you think people will buy it, you're wrong. People will see through it. But the other thing is, as a screenwriter, you're always working for somebody else. Even if you write an original screenplay, the second you sell it to a producer, they've got notes. The second an actor comes aboard, they've got notes. So you're always rewriting it, and by the time it ends, there's a great line in Sunset Boulevard in which William Holden portrays a screenwriter, and he's asked if he's ever had a produced film, and he says, well, yeah, it started off, I'm paraphrasing, but it started off as a family story about, a bunch of Okies, and by the time it ended, it got produced, it took place on a torpedo boat. And it's very true. Stories will change so radically from your original vision, whatever. What I love about comics is you get to do your original vision. Afterlife has been so creatively rewarding in that you're working with basically two people, my editor, who is great, and Rob Steen, who's a fantastic artist, and to see to just get their input, but then ultimately that's it. It's just us, and we're making the best possible project we can. On Volume 2, we actually have a new artist taking over. Rob did some of the work, but because of other demands, and this new guy, his name's Rick Zwick. He is somebody you are going to hear about. He is a fantastic artist, just absolutely amazing. Rob's amazing too, and I hate to lose him, but he's moving on to other things and just couldn't juggle everything at once. But it's been so rewarding to write something and then also see it so quickly. In movies, it takes years sometimes.
Right.
In comics, artwork takes a while, but ultimately you get to see results pretty fast. And it's fantastic.
Nice. And if people want to know more about your project and Stormcrow Hayes, how can they reach you online?
The best website, I have my own website, which is stormcrowhayes.com, and Hayes is spelled Hayes. So that's an easy way to find me. The Afterlife has its own website, entertheafterlife.com. You can also find me through there, but either one will lead you to me.
Awesome.
And my other projects.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.